Yeah!
The dragon hungers.
Yeah! Look at that! Hello, everybody. Welcome to a very long, very boring, very drawn-out look at the newest character to enter the Nexus. In today's video, we're looking at Hanzo. Now, I played Hanzo at BlizzCon, so this won't be entirely, you know, first impressions here, you know what I'm saying? But Scattershot build at BlizzCon was one of the most difficult things I've ever played, and I tried playing that in my live stream, but it just did not go well. I like Hanzo's Q abilities from what I saw before, but Scattershot's going to take some serious commitment to get down. So before we even get started, I just wanted to say we're not going into this totally blind like we normally do, and I already have some pretty strong bias to certain abilities, so I just want to make that clear going in. But if you are not interested in a long, boring, drawn-out look where we take a look at every single talent that Hanzo has, then this is not the stream or the video for you. You have been warned. Go ahead and see yourself out right now. And remain, speak now or remain forever in peace. Or something like that. Whatever they say at weddings. Do they even say that anymore? I don't actually know. All right. Try mode. Here we go. I've been streaming for a little while. So, might be a little out of it. What are these? Is this showing me where the wall is for his ability? Oh, that was not in the game before, so it makes it a lot easier to see where you can actually interact with terrain. So if I shoot my arrow here, it's gonna react differently than from me shooting the arrow here, presumably. Okay. All right, I might like the ability a little bit more now. Okay, good job, Blizzard. Anyway, before we get into this, here is Hanzo's time. And here's his dance. The fuck is that? Okay.
Just so.
Don't know what that is. Hanzo's abilities, his Q ability is called Storm Bow. Activate to charge an arrow that deals 281 damage to the first enemy hit. Storm Bow's range increases the longer that it is channeled. Reactivate to fire. So, if we're just hanging out, we press Q. We hold Q, and the range increases. We let go, it fires a shot off, at least on quick casting. Our W ability is Scatter Arrow, and this is one of the most intimidating things in the whole world. Here, let me, put it on release for you so you can just see how intimidating this is. Like, as this moves, you just see all of these projectiles moving around all over the place. Isn't that ridiculous? Now, I do think they've smoothed this out a little bit from what I played because it seemed a lot more jumpy. Like this wall transition right here, just moving our see, look, right here to right here. Just moving our cursor just this tiny little bit can drastically change how the spell interacts with the environment. And the idea is that we fire this in, it does some initial damage on impact, but what you're really trying to do is hit people with multiple shots of this. And this ability is capable of dealing shotgun damage as well, so presumably if we line it up properly, or if someone's right next to a wall, if maybe we can get Arthas to come over here. So like right here, we can hit him with multiple applications of the skill to presumably deal some more damage if he doesn't move around like a lunatic. Very, 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 very difficult to do, though. Gonna be something that Hanzo made. You actually, I think you have to be a Hanzo main to get it down. This ability to jump over terrain is our trait. It is called Natural Agility. It's on a 25-second cooldown. Target unpathable terrain or a structure and jump to the other side. So you just target this thing. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, apparently. Maybe you have to be within range. It's just not working now. There we go. Yeah, it's a little finicky, but that's actually a pretty big path. Most paths in the game aren't that big. They'll be something like this. Just gotta hop over to the other side. There are some talents that augment this in the talent tree. If you want. But, you know, seems okay. Seems like an interesting trait. Our E ability is the Sonic Arrow. Fire an arrow that gets vision to a large area. And this can be augmented as well. This stays on the ground for a little bit. 20-second cooldown on this, but it does show you a decently sized area. For what, 6 seconds? 8 seconds. So you're going to have about 12 seconds of cooldown where you're not going to be able to see around you. And remember, Heroes of the Storm is a game that doesn't have wards. It doesn't have things like that. So having that on the ground can be very, very valuable.
We are victorious.
Okay. So that's his baseline stuff. What is this exactly? What is this icon here?
Just so.
Am I missing something? Reactivate to fire. That's not stacking. This doesn't stack. This doesn't stack, right? Oh, fuck! I didn't realize this. If you hit a hero, it'll follow them as they move.
Understood.
Oh, chat is saying that that is our auto attack timer. I see. It's weird. Okay, don't move, Arthas. God damn it, Arthas. God damn it. Arthas, stand still. I want to hit you with this thing so it follows you. That's so cool. Now, the odds of actually landing that on someone, I think in most cases, you're only going to hit them while they're in the bush. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Fight me. Fight me. Fight me. Yeah. He fucking moved again. Come here, Arthas. Hey! Now we're following Arthas with our vision. Okay. That's cool. I like that. Our heroic abilities at level 10 are as follows. We have Dragon Strike. After 1.5 seconds, summoning a pair of spirit dragons, which travel forward, dealing 77 damage every 0.25 seconds to enemy heroes in the area. Enemies in the center take 150% more damage, and it looks like this. So notice that you have to be back a little bit for this ability to actually take hold, but the range of it is quite impressive. So you fire this out, there's a small delay, and then they appear in front of you, travel forward. There's an outer area and an inner area, and if they're in the center, they take way more damage than if they were on the outside. Very much a wombo combo finisher. So your team has a mosh pit, your team has some kind of stun to keep someone still for quite a long time. Use this in conjunction with that to deal that damage. You really have to aim quite far ahead. In fact, I would say that you have to use this before the mosh pit even starts in order to get the most out of it. Then his other option is, at level 10, the Dragon's Arrow. Fire a missile that travels across the battleground, explodes upon hitting an enemy hero, dealing 148 damage to all nearby enemies and stunning them for 0.5 seconds. After traveling a medium distance, the damage is increased to 296, up from 148. And the stun duration is increased by 1.25 seconds, or to 1.25 seconds, not by 2. After traveling a long distance, the damage is increased again to 518, and the stun duration is 2 seconds. So you can use this at point blank range to stun someone, maybe interrupt something, and initiate your other skills. Let's say if they, once again, get close to the wall. You can stun them close to the wall, then hit them with the scatter. I think that is going to be a very common way of seeing this used. But if you sit way back, you can actually snipe with this long range. And if we're able to follow the arrow, you'll notice that it changes the further it travels. So that's the middle area and the long area arrow there. So it kind of powers up along its path. And you can also see the distance required for each stage in the skill shot projectile thing itself. So pretty cool. Much easier to set up than the Twin Dragons. And then you can also think of this as your team's initiation for a wombo combo, because it does stun around it, right? Stunning, or is it only the target hit? Yeah, it's dealing 154 damage to all nearby enemies and stunning them. So there's a bit of an impact here, and anyone around this impact is going to be stunned. Anyone in that circle is going to be stunned as well. So rather than following up damage for a wombo combo, this is the initiation for the wombo combo. The 2-second stun is a pretty big deal. I kind of like that distinction. At level 10, he decides whether or not he wants to be the man who knocks on the door or the man who kicks the door down. I like that. I like that a lot. If we want to take a look at his talents, we'll set ourselves down to left. Actually, we could have just reset. We may have some weird scaling now that I've completed some quests. I'm not sure. All of his level 1 talents are quest talents. We have target practice, hit an enemy hero with storm bow. That is, once again, our Q ability. After hitting every enemy hero once with storm bow, increases its range by 30. All you have to do is hit everyone on the enemy team once, and it'll increase your range by 30%. After hitting every enemy hero 3 times with storm bows, damage is increased by 100. I wonder how that works in try mode, if it'll give us the completion right away. Now, this ability does have a bit of a travel, and it does get blocked by minions as well. So you have to have appropriate positioning for this.
We must attack now. To arms!
But it is capable of dealing a lot of damage. Especially once you complete the quest. 692, barely charged up. Oh, does the charge not matter? It's just the distance? Right, okay. For some reason, when I feel like you're pulling the arrow back, it should deal more damage, but it doesn't matter if it's at full range or short range. It'll deal quite a bit.
I do what
Run away. Run away, Arthas.
see that which is unseen.
I wanted to ricochet off of his walls. Damn it. Our other options at level 1, simple geometry. Hit a hero with multiple arrows from the same scatter arrow cast 20 times. Each arrow hit after the second grants additional progress. Upon hitting terrain for the first time, scatter arrow creates 2 additional arrows. So you deal damage with the ricochet, and eventually you're able to deal more damage potentially with the ricochet because you have more projectiles. Like I said, this is going to be the most difficult ability in Hanzo's arsenal to really get used to. And it also has a pretty short cooldown. So you're going to be able to get plenty of practice with it, but whether or not you're able to hit stuff often with it is completely on a player-by-player basis. Way more than normal skill shots would be. But I can see that being decent. Especially after you complete the quest, you go from this many See, look at this corner here. Look how drastic this corner is. And I'm barely moving my mouse. You go from this many projectiles, so we have 5 here, to this many projectiles. It's a lot more potential for being able to hit your target reliably with that. Okay. Okay. Our other talent at level 1, we have Redemption. Every second basic attack against the same hero within 10 seconds grants 1 redemption, stacking up to 12. Dying decreases redemption by 3. And redemption can be lost even at maximum stacks. At 12 redemption, you gain 50% increased attack speed. So if you don't want to worry about these skill shots at all, if you just want to go in an auto attack, this seems to be the option for you. A very confusing description. This is how slow our auto attack is. And we don't get the bonus until 12th. This takes a really long time to build up. Every second basic attacks against the same hero within 10 seconds grants 1 redemption, stacking up to 12. Woo! But hey, after we finish the quest, we're gonna go from a 0.67 to a 1 per second. I mean, that is a sizable damage increase, I guess.
Like water.
His attack range is
I do what I must.
fairly long. I don't know about that one, man. So once you're at the 12 stacks of redemption, it doesn't seem to go away. Right? We haven't attacked anything for a while. Yeah, okay. Not the most flashy talent, but we'll see. We'll see. So to me, at level 1, target practice seems like the way to go. It can be a sizable damage increase, just requires you to hit many members on the battlefield with your Q. Q ability, by the way, 4-second cooldown, so you can spam this quite a bit. Your W ability, 8-second cooldown, so you can Q, scatter, and then have another Q basically ready to go again within a couple seconds. Keep in mind we did have cooldowns on, so it would look more like this.
Finds its mark.
And there we go. When I was playing Hanzo originally, what I was finding myself doing quite a bit was trying forever to line this up and missing out on a lot of Qs. So I would definitely say make sure your Q is on cooldown before you try to do any fancy shit like that, because it will take more time to line up that scatter arrow. Okay, level 4. Explosive arrows. Upon hitting a minion or monster, Stormbow deals 100% of its damage to enemies around the target. Again, nice, simple, and easy lane clear. We are seeing a very themed talent tier here as well, where every talent is increasing your ability to clear minions. So if you fire off your Q at the middle of a minion wave, you can kill the mage and hurt the archers. Not bad. You can also line up a scatter arrow right after that. Remember, this is only a 4-second cooldown, so you kind of do this all the time too. If you hit the warriors as they're walking up, takes them down to about half health. Keep in mind, this is without our quest being finished, so I'm assuming the damage would continue to scale on this as well. It would scale up with that as well. Let's go for simple geometry and scattered arrows. Scatter arrow deals 150% more damage to minions, mercenaries, and monsters. So we can actually use this on infernal shrines for those enclosed areas to deal considerably more damage to the objective there. So let's see, 8-second cooldown for this. Is it going to be as worth? I don't think so. First of all, just lining it up. Oh, okay. Okay, that might be more damage. Just lining it up takes a lot more time. It's a longer cooldown. But let's see. Let's see. Oh, God. Let's see. Come on, spawn. Spawn minions. Waiting on you, minions. Waiting on you right now. Let's see. Fucking Arthas blocked it. God damn it. Come on, Arthas. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to test stuff. You're just getting in the way. No, give me. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for the minions. Meh. It seems like it's just as good as the other, but the other is way easier to do. Yep, not a fan. Not a fan at all. Wasn't a fan when I tested it either, but I wanted to give it another shot. And then the last talent we have here, can we assume that this is auto attacks? Basic attacks instantly kill minions and increases Hanzo's basic attack range by 2 for 3 seconds. Huh! So he is able to instantly kill a minion, back up to safety, and then he kind of gets the siege mode from Sergeant Hammer. So you could poke at your enemy a bit more. That's actually a little interesting. I kind of don't hate that. That might be cool. Now, it's only minions. It's not mercenaries. It's not monsters. And the top one is minions or monsters. So the top 2 will improve your clear on objectives if you're on infernal shrines and you have a lot of shit to kill. But this one is specifically focused on minions. You are going to be able to get, what, 2.5 auto attacks off with that increased range, so maybe it's not that good. But if you have redemption stacked up, that's 3 auto attacks that you get at a significantly increased range. That might actually be worth.
Choose a talent.
All right, level 7. Do we have an auto attack one here? Basic attacks and Stormbow deal 250% bonus damage to shields or heroic targets. To shields on heroic targets, excuse me. I was gonna say, that doesn't make any fucking sense. So if the enemy team has a bunch of shields, you can auto attack that target for more, or you can hit them with Q for more. The Dragon Hungers! Hitting a hero with Stormbow grants 5% spell power for 10 seconds, stacking up to 20. So if you're able to land 4 Storm Bows, you are going to be able to get 20% increased spell power. That spell power should affect all of your abilities, including your heroic ability. So if you're able to get this stacked up prior to using your ult, that can be a lot of damage. A lot of damage. And then Never Outmatched. Reduce scatter arrow mana cost to 40, from 40 to 20, excuse me. Basic attacks lower the cooldown of scatter arrow by 4 seconds. Okay. That's a little more interesting. That's a little more interesting. I wonder if you could even go for a fucking... Like, I wonder if you could go auto attack early on and then switch to scatter here. Complete your quest. You have a one attack speed now. You can one-shot minions and scatter arrow like crazy. Wow. That might be worth. God, that's so fucking hard to line up. That might be worth. You just gotta spam that all the time. Okay. Okay, I can see that. I can see that. To me personally, I think I'm gonna be using the Dragon's Arrow quite a bit. Quite a bit more than the other. So, how are we at doing this camp if we can just constantly scatter arrow? Not bad. Oh god. Not bad. Not bad. Okay. All right, I can see that working. Level 13 seems to be themed around mobility. Stormbolt grants 10% movement speed for 6 seconds, stacking up to 30. Ninja Assassin. Hitting enemy heroes with Stormbolt lowers natural agility's cooldown by 10 seconds. Additionally, hero takedowns reset the cooldown. So we have a 25-second cooldown on our trait by default. So if you're landing your Qs, you're going to be able to do it a little bit more often. And then mounted archery. Upon mounting, gain 30% additional movement speed for 5 seconds. Using natural agility, instantly mounts. We have a similar talent to this on characters like Malthael, where they move faster on a mount. But that added caveat of being able to instantly mount when you get off of that means you're going to be able to run from your adversaries a little bit more. Even though the skill is not going to be off of cooldown all the time. I don't know if that's better. To me, I don't know, actually. I don't know how I feel about these. Maybe Ninja Assassin's the weakest to me, but it's not by much. I really do think that these are going to be... You can attach it to minions! I didn't even think about that! I thought it was only heroes! You could follow a lane for a while. Oh, I like that. I don't know, I kind of like the mount speed one. Allows you to reposition really quickly. That might be my go-to. That might be my go-to. Level 16. We have Flawless Technique. Hitting enemy heroes with Stormbow increases the damage of Hanzo's next basic attack within 5 seconds by 125. Basic attacks against enemy heroes increase the damage of Hanzo's next Stormbow within 5 seconds by 25%. Both of these are 25%. So, we have a lot of ebb and flow with his auto attacks, kind of like we already had built into this build. Once we have it completed, we can attack for further. If we pick this up, when we auto attack, our Q gets empowered, and then our auto attack gets empowered. And your Q has an insanely low cooldown of only 4 seconds, so you should be able to do this fairly often. And remember, every time we attack, we're also lowering the cooldown of our scatter arrow as well, so it ends up looking like this, where you can just kind of fire shit off all the... God, that's so hard to aim, though. Holy shit. You kind of fire shit off all the time. Stun him. Hit him with a Stormbow again. Auto attack him. Scatter arrow. I mean, you're spamming abilities at this point. That's really cool. That's really cool. Did I say 125? Chat, give me a break. I've been talking for 6 straight hours. 5 straight hours. But yeah, 25% on both of those seems really good. It's only versus heroes. But actually, these auto attack talents are starting to make more and more sense the more I take a look at them. It's a shame you can't scatter off of heroes. That's unfortunate. Like, I kind of wish... So, when I was talking to people at BlizzCon about Hanzo, everyone agreed that his scatter arrow was the worst part of his kit. But that was going for a full scatter arrow build. I didn't try any of this hybrid auto attack stuff. Using the hybrid auto attack stuff seems cool. Especially if you can keep your range back away from the enemy by hitting a minion every now and then. I like that. But what Hanzo seems to be missing is a core mechanic of his gameplay in Overwatch. And let's just make sure this isn't added in somewhere, because it might be. core mechanic of playing Hanzo versus tanks specifically is when you see a tank running at you, you use your scatter arrow at the feet of your enemy, so the scatter arrow hits the ground and then it just impales them all over the place. The shotgunning mechanic, right? But you're basically able to choose when that scatter arrow detonates by shooting at it at the ground. In Heroes, you can't reactivate this. You can't shoot it at the ground. You can't shoot it at Heroes for it to reactivate. So it kind of seems like a different ability. Kind of seems like it functions on a fundamentally different level in Heroes than it does in Overwatch, and that always seems a little weird to me. And I just wanted to voice that opinion really quick. His other options at this level. Let's set ourselves back to 20. We're getting a little ahead of ourselves here. We have piercing arrow, stormbolt, and scatter arrow now pierce, hitting additional enemies. Additionally, scatter arrow can pierce through one enemy each time it ricochets. So it can ricochet, pierce, ricochet, pierce. That seems pretty good.
Choose a talent.
Just adds more potential damage for each ability, especially in team fights. Think Chromie, it scales up quite well. Giant Slayer, enemy heroes hit by scatter arrow and basic attacks take a bonus of 1.25% of their maximum health as damage. So that has, again, perfect synergy with the idea of going in, getting your attack speed up, and then auto-attacking to lower the cooldown of your scatter arrow. 1.25%. I mean, this is a shit ton of scatter arrows that you could fire out, and I suppose you could also augment this for the scatter arrow damage here, or the what was it, level 1? Yeah, you might have to go for the level 1. But that seems like it would be pretty good to get more scatter arrow projectiles in a situation like that. I think both of those could be decent picks. Play of the game is his level 20 upgrade to his Ash Arrow, Dragon's Arrow, excuse me, that just slipped out. While in flight, someone in chat just said, what if it worked like Rayman's cocktail? Except rather than exploding, it only explodes if it hits the ground instead of the target? I don't know. Maybe. We'd have to hash that out. While in flight, up for 2 seconds after impacted target, or for up to 2 seconds after impacted target. Okay, I understand. So we can impact someone and then appear. Dragon's arrows can be reactivated to teleport to its location and jump backwards. If used after impact, Hanzo shoots arrows that deal 263 damage to the target hit by the impact. So you can use it for a global. Oh my god. Hello! That is a 70-second cooldown, so you can use it to get across the map. You can spawn in the base and then hop into the enemy spawn, basically. If you impact a target, you can cast it again to deal damage to him. And you have 2 seconds to decide whether or not you want to go in on your ability. Just really good for mobility. That's about it, though. It is on a 70-second cooldown, though. That's a lot of damage. Great for 1v1 trading like that. Really good for 1v1 trading like that. I like it. I like it. His other options at level 20, we have Scatter Arrowhead, or Sharpened Arrowhead. Scatter Arrow limits the maximum armor for a hero's hit to 0 for 5 seconds. Limits the maximum armor of hero's hit. So we all know that Arthas has increased physical armor. We can use this. Now he doesn't have armor. And if you have a bunch of healers on the enemy team, I mean, if we can fucking hit him. And if you have heroes on the enemy team that would increase his armor more, then we lower that. Also, think fucking Garrosh. Think about Garrosh. Oh my god, we have counters for Garrosh. That's why I won't use this, by the way. That is the exact reason I won't use this. I'm down to have ways to kill Garrosh, man. I am on board with that. And the last option we have, not tied to our heroic ability, is Bullseye. Increases Sonic Arrow speed and center radius by 100%. Additionally, heroes hit by Sonic Arrow's center are stunned by 1 second, or for 1 second. So we were using this earlier, and it has this crazy long arch, right? This crazy long arch on a 20-second cooldown. The odds of you actually hitting someone with this are not very good. But with this increase, it fires a lot faster. So you might be able to narrow this in a little bit, and you might be able to get a stun off of it. I think that if you're going to be using this, what you're going to end up doing, and this is just my opinion, of course, I think what you're going to end up doing is something like this, where you would get the dragon's arrow and then pick that up.
Choose a talent.
So you have the stun here. You have your heroic ability stun. Where are you, Arthas? Heroic ability stun. Fuck, he has resilience! Ah! Yo, give me another hero. Sure, Alexstrasza, whatever. So you kind of line these up, right? So you're kind of chain CCing a little bit more than you would be otherwise. I think that's really the only way you're going to get value out of this one. Just the odds of you missing, I think, are way too high. The odds of it being reliable, I don't think they're that good. Anyway, that's what I think. It doesn't seem that good. Just seems pretty underwhelming compared to the rest of his stuff. And then, if we take the other level 10 heroic ability, Dragon Strike, we can get the Dragon Awakens. Hitting a hero with Storm Bow, Scatter Arrow, or basic attacks reduces the cooldown of Dragon Strike by 5 seconds. By default, this is a 100-second cooldown ability, so you're going to be firing these off quite a bit more. Quite a bit more over the course of a game after you hit level 20. For instance, right there, we took off almost 30 seconds. That could be really strong. He has very short cooldowns, so you could be firing that off quite a bit, actually. So, what is my consensus? What are we thinking? What are we thinking? I am actually pretty impressed with his auto attack talents. Let's set our level back to 20.
Choose a talent. Choose a talent.
Let's get rid of our Furion. Let's get him out of here. I think that a cool way to play could be going in with Redemption. Now remember, this is going to take a really fucking long time to build up in a game. Like a really long time to build up in a game. You may not get this until level 16. But by increasing your range here at level 4, after you kill a minion, attack range by 2, this probably gives him a longer attack range than Jim Raynor. Rest in peace. But we might be able to stack that up easier. Then, if we auto attack, we lower the cooldown of Scatter Arrow by 4 seconds with each auto attack. So we can fire those off consistently more. We pick Dragon's Arrow to trade into enemy heroes. Mounted Archery because it sounded the most fun to me. We're not worried about this Alexstrasza going for anything ridiculous. Like, she doesn't have a high... Well, she could have high health. Never mind. But, we could go for Arrow's Pierce here. We could go for the thing where they empower each other, so there's a nice flow of things. Yeah, we could try that. See how it goes. I think the piercing... Actually, I'm going to say the piercing arrows would be better with this build because you're going to be using scatter arrows so much. You want them to go through as many targets as possible in the middle of a team fight. And then at level 20, I would go for play of the game. So let's say that we completed our quest. By the way, this is how slow it is.
Now you die.
There's 1 stack. You have to do this, what, 12 times? Every 2 auto attacks on the same target, you get a stack. Very, 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 very slow. You know, give me some minions, though. Give me some minions. But by the time we auto attack twice, we have another scatter shot ready to go. And if someone's fighting us in an area like this, that's quite a few scatter shots. Once we complete our quest, that's going to bring our auto attack speed up from 0.67 or 0.63 or whatever it was up to a solid 1 a second, which is respectable considering how hard we're hitting. By the way, 820 fucking 5 at level 20. 825 every auto attack. That's a lot. That's a lot. Why'd she land over here? So as she's moving through, shotgun, auto attack, shotgun, stunner. That's a lot of damage. That's a really respectable amount of damage. And it's also giving you lane clear. One auto attack is enough to kill off a minion, and it increases your attack range. I think this is actually... Oh, it's because we were hitting minions. Excuse me. Our hero attack damage, 351. We deal more damage to minions. We were actually dealing the minions' health and damage. That's what we were doing. Okay. All right, that makes more sense now. I was like, that seems busted. Why does that seem so high? But okay, we caught it. Do it versus a brawler or something? Sure. I can do that. So, it seems like a good way to be well-rounded. Also deal a lot of damage in team fights with Scatter Arrow because it's going to be piercing through targets. And you can duel people relatively well with your heroic ability off cooldown. So we want to hit a minion first, increase our range. Like, I think we match Vala's range without a minion. It's not bad though. I missed all of my abilities there. So the full wombo combo would look something like firing, hitting a minion, firing off your scatter, auto attacking her, stunning her, and hitting her with your Q. Something like this. Well, fuck that up. Oh, fuck that up real bad. I will not be defeated. All right, let's try again. You didn't see that. What are you doing? Come back.
Perfect.
Actually, would we want to back? No, I think we want to hit her with scatter first because then we can auto attack to get it off cooldown again.
My aim is true.
We'll wait for the minions. That ult does low damage at close range though? Yeah. I was thinking mostly just using it for the stun. I mean, we could just initiate with it. I can't hit the minions because she's in front of him.
I understand.
Yeah, we're kind of just losing that trade.
Flow like water.
We could try teleporting in, but that seems really committee. I don't know how often you're going to find yourself in a situation with a Vala where you want to go in at level 20. She has a lot of healing.
The dragon hunger.
Where is she? What are you fucking doing? Where is she? Watch, she's going to dodge this now. Well. Okay, so what I thought would initially be a very good dueling build, I think is just going to be you chill the fuck on the back line. Which means that the auto attack, I mean, you just kind of have to use the range and whittle people down with the scatter arrow. That didn't quite play out like I thought it would. Oh, now she runs.
There is no escape.
I mean, like I've said before, scatter arrow is really fucking awkward. So maybe that has potential when I get used to it more, or maybe just Hanzo isn't made for 1v1s. Yeah. Maybe this isn't good. The one I played originally at BlizzCon was pretty fucking strong. You just go target practice into explosion on monsters, into spell power, dragon arrow. I did go for move speed on this because it just allowed me to reposition a little bit more, but I think I like the mounted archery even more. Stormbow basic attacks empower each other. I really like that one, but I wouldn't be fishing for auto attacks. I would just kind of let the person come to me. And then, once again, I would go for play of the game. So we can do things like just chill the fuck back out here, try to poke Vala down as she's going in for stuff. Now our auto attack's empowered. Now she tries to circle back. What are you doing? What are you even doing? I can't play against this. She doesn't know what she doesn't. She's unpredictable. Oh my fucking god.
There is no escape.
was rather entertaining.
Yeah, I think he's meant more for poke rather than 1v1 trading. So I think this is going to be way more reliable than the one we just took a look at. This also gives him really, really good lane clear once his quests are completed. This is level 21, of course, so I mean, pretty much everyone has good lane clear right now, but you can just target that back minion. Get that auto attack crit right after you use your Q. And remember, pulling the bow back doesn't actually increase its damage. So I think this is going to be the much more reliable way to play. I mean, this is what I thought when I was on the BlizzCon show floor too, but like I said, I was trying to go in without any biases, so I thought maybe the auto attack into the scatter arrow would be worth. I still don't think it's that worth. And look at that range you can do that at too. Then pop in for an auto attack. Hit him with the long range again. Or just constantly use your long range and wait for Vala to move in on you. And then you have the auto attack damage increase. Yeah, I think that's the way to go. Scatter arrow is still one of the most like ridiculous skills in the game as far as aiming. I think it's going to take a lot of effort, a lot of time, a lot of practice to get that scatter arrow down. But those would be the two builds that I recommend. If you go for the level 10 Dragon Strike, you definitely need to use that with a team that has set up for a Wombo combo. And if they do have set up for the Wombo combo, then a Dragon Awakens seems pretty good. But I think in most situations, Dragon Arrow is going to be the go-to. It's easy to dodge his Q. I mean, it's easy to dodge Chromie's Q as well. Good Hanzos will be able to land it. Good Chromies will be able to land theirs. And you don't actually know when he's going to fire it off either. With Chromie, it's very, like, I can hold on to this for fucking ever, right? With Chromie, it's very obvious when she's going to fire her Q off. With Hanzo, he can just be like, oh, I'm baiting, I'm baiting, I'm baiting. Where am I going? Where am I going? And then shoot it. But this gives you good lane clear, it gives you good teamfight poke, it gives you good auto attack damage if someone runs up on you, and you can get the fuck out of town. I like it. I like it. So this would be the one that I recommend. I think Hanzo's going to have a really poor win rate for a while. Just because he's really difficult to play. But we'll see how it goes. This concludes our long, boring, drawn-out look at Hanzo. Hanzo. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed today's stream. For those of you that are watching this live, I think it'll be fun. I just don't think he'll be that strong. He's so weak to dive, right? If anyone jumps in on him, he's just gonna die. You cancel the Q before firing? I didn't test that. Here, I'll go back. Because that's important to know. Maybe if you fire off another ability, it'll cancel it.
Just so.
So, toggle cooldowns. It doesn't look like you can cancel it. It doesn't look like any other button cancels it. H doesn't, stop doesn't. Yeah, you just gotta let it go. But that's not that big of a deal. Not that big of a deal at all. It's like, oh, I don't want to cast this. All right. You know what I mean? It's not like you're really committed. Dude, that scatter fucking arrow though. I still don't know how I get that. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. See you all next time.